One, is that right? Good afternoon and namaste. Greetings from India. It's great to be here. This is the first time I'm in Taiwan. Unfortunately, I've been only to the hotel and to this place. But yes, yesterday we did go to this tea restaurant, which was very nice. So I must be honest, I'm a little nervous because one, it's in the afternoon, so everybody must be feeling sleepy. And two is because all the other speakers before me have given such phenomenal presentations that I feel, we're not doing any academic or research work. So I will only talk about how we are trying to bring all this that they have been talking about into practice. So Timbaktu is the place I come from. And the topic today, basically, I'm trying to talk about how we've been working with marginalized people, the peasants, and how we've been trying to find markets for them and how to do business with agricultural products. Well, that's where I come from. You can see. How do I do this? There, Timbaktu. Well, that's more or less in the center of the lower Deccan Plateau and is extremely drought prone. It's the second most drought prone area in the country. That's a normal look of the place. We had 11% forest area in 1947 when we became independent. Today it's less than 1%. So there's almost no forest in that place, and it's a very marginalized area. This lights. Well, we bought a piece of land, about 32 acres of land, in 1990 to create an agroforest habitat. There were only about 21 species of flora there. I don't know if you can see it, but it was quite barren. This is a photograph from 1992, and we started restoration and regeneration work in this area. And then by 95, we had started a small little school there, and we were living there. And then by 2010, this is what it looked like. From 21 species, it's gone to over 400 species of flora. The animals have come back, the leopards have come back, and the pigs and the peacocks and the deer and the most important, the wolves have come back. And so this is a change that we have now brought about in about 9,000 acres of land across, but then that's not what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to go on to other matters. But before that, I should tell you the story that we started in 1990. We started the organization, and then in 1991, we started the work on the hills, and then 92, we started working in some of the villages, and today we are working in 177 villages with about 22,000 people, families in the area. Am I going too fast? So basically, we have done work with women. We call that Swashakti. We have been doing alternative banking with women. We've been doing work with children and with regenerating the forest and the forest community, and working with people with disabilities, with sustainable farming, and producer-owned business enterprises. So I'm going to talk about the producer-owned business enterprises today and not on all the other stuff that we've been doing. So basically, we have begun to help people to do more with their produce, and all of it organic, and no chemicals, and process it and be able to put it to the market. So the first thing I must talk about, of course, is how did we generate the money? We started forming collectives of women, cooperatives of women, and this we started in 1992. In 1998, we formed the first cooperative, then a second cooperative, then a third cooperative, and finally, we registered it into a federation of cooperatives. So today, there are about 22,000 women who are members of these cooperatives from 177 villages. And they have about 24 million rupees, which is about $3.5 million, that they are doing their banking with. Basically, they save money and then they give money out as loans to themselves. They charge a small rate of interest. It's very fair. And with that, they do all their little petty businesses. They do their agriculture and things like that. So it's a very powerful group of people, and they are financially all independent, except the last one, which should become independent by March this year. So the producer-owned enterprises that I'm talking about, the first one is the Farmers Cooperative. So this Farmers Cooperative, we started learning about organic farming. I started learning about organic farming myself in around 1997. And by about 2005, we went to the farmers and said, will you join us? So in 2006, they came together, and then about 2008, we formed this cooperative, which now has about 2,000 farmers who are engaged in organic farming. So they basically grow millets. We grow 8 types of millets in our area. And we operate, the cooperative now operates 3 processing mills, which do value addition. It packages, it processes, and markets this whole product under the brand name Timbaktu Organic. So I don't think we need to get into all the details here, but basically it has grown into a rather large cooperative of farmers that is being able to grow, produce organic food, process it, and sell it. It is one of the more important organic cooperatives in South India. I don't need to go into all these details. But basically, the whole idea of this is, how do our poor farmers earn a better living? In India, the farmers are possibly the lowest paid workers in the country. And food in India is pretty cheap. But the risk is taken all by the farmers. And their life is not so nice. India has some of the richest people, I think the largest number of billionaires now, but we have the largest number of poor farmers also. And so what we are trying to do is that through the cooperative, increase the earning of the farmers while working on their soil, getting the soil to be nutritious, getting them to eat nutritious food. We're also getting them to earn more money by processing and selling the food that they are producing. The idea behind this is that if a consumer buys 1 kilo of a millet and it costs 100 rupees, at least 50 rupees must go back to the farmer. And this, in India, no other cooperative has been able to manage. except the milk cooperatives. You know that India has very strong milk cooperatives. And so we managed to pay the farmers back 50 rupees for every 100 rupees that is sold, which is an achievement. These are the products that are made. There are about 95 different products that is being produced, and it is sold in about 251 stores across South India, mainly in South India. And we have about 45,000 consumers who actually eat the food that is grown by these farmers. And the prices of all our products is possibly the lowest in the organic industry in India. So there are three basic themes that the cooperative works on. One is that it should earn the farmer good money, that they should grow the food sustainably, environmentally friendly, and that the consumer must get good value for the money. So basically, 251 retailers, 98 PGS certified products, 65 of them ready to eat and cook. It's one of the leading operators in South India. It has a wide range of millets, and of course it is farmer owned. So all the profits goes back to the farmers. Then we have a labor cooperative that we formed. It's called the Gram Sri Labor Cooperative. This is also quite unique because this cooperative works with laborers, agricultural laborers who don't have enough land for agriculture, but they grow and sell sheep and goats. They use ethno-vet systems in which they do not give any chemical medicines. They do free range, but they can't be called organic because they are free ranging, but they are extremely good meat. And so now they have about 2,000 odd members, and they're doing pretty well. They're one of the richer cooperatives in India, among other cooperatives that we have formed. It's about 1,035 members who are doing this cooperative. And recently they have opened a shop which sells good, fresh meat, though I know in Taiwan you all don't eat too much meat. But in India, and especially the kind of state in which I work, 90% of the population eats meat. So people think that India is a vegetarian country. It's wrong. In India, 80% of the population eat meat. And in our state where I work, 92% of the population eats meat. And so we want to provide good meat. And we want the laborers, the agricultural laborers, to earn a good income. And we want them to do it environmental friendly. We don't want them to ruin the environment. So they work with the farmers because the farmers, the organic farmers, need the dung. And so they go and graze on the organic farmer fields, and they put the dung there, and that is used in the organic farming. So there is a very good symbiotic relationship between the shepherds and the farmers in our area. They have opened a mutton shop, and you can see the land is very bare, but these are the only animals that can survive there and do well. Then we started working with cotton farmers. Our friends are working with cotton farmers, and they're doing organic cotton, and they are spinning the cotton with the hand. The yarn is made like this through spinning, with hand spinning. So we said that we can then train people in how to make good cloth so that the farmers are able to grow organic cotton. And so we started a small enterprise, and there are about 15 young women who have learned how to weave and are selling some of the really good hand-woven cloth for saris. You know, Indians wear saris, and stoles and things like that. This is some of the products. They make 16 different products, very good products. The person in the center is my daughter, and she and basically she is the designer, and she runs this cooperative with these women. And the old man there, he is an old silk weaver who, you know, in India, weaving is only done by the men. The women are not allowed to do the weaving. The women are allowed to only do the things like dyeing the cloth or weaving, spinning the yarn, things like that, but not the weaving. So we decided that the women must be taught how to weave. And all these women, I don't know, do you know that in India we have a caste system? So we have the lower caste, the outcasts, the lower caste, then the middle caste, then the upper caste, and the upper caste. So I come from the upper caste. Okay, so we are not supposed to touch these people. They are not supposed to walk on my shadow. Okay. But these are all women who are from the lowest caste. And so we decided that we must teach them weaving, because weaving is from a higher caste. And this old man, he was a silk weaver. And he's the only weaver who said, okay, I will come and teach these women. So he has been teaching them. We have trained over 100 young women in weaving, and the whole process of weaving, right from preparing the yarn to dyeing the yarn, warping the yarn, and then making really good cloth. After that, we said we need to do something to help the farmers who grow oil seeds, because they take all the oil seeds and they sell it outside. And we said, no, we have to do something about that. So we started working. We are working with people with disabilities, and we were trying to find out what kind of work can earn them a living. And then we found that soap could do it. They don't need to really move around. They can work in a place, and they can make soaps. And making soap is not rocket science. But good soap can be made anywhere. But what you need is good oil. So the oil that we use 6 types of oil, and we make really good soap, which is made by them. And they have formed into another small cooperative, and these soaps are being sold all over the place. They not only make soap, but they make all soap-related products. Washing soap and cleaning soap and blah, blah, blah. Some 8 different products they make and they sell. And it is made completely organic. The only thing they use is caustic soda, and otherwise it's all good oil. That's again grown by the farmers in our area, milled in our area, and it's all organic. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you very much. I tried to finish fast because I expected some questions from you. If you want to ask me any questions, I'm willing to answer your questions. If not, great. May I? Sorry, I didn't take your permission. Is all right? Yeah? Yeah? We have nothing to do with them, they have nothing to do with us. This is, I must say, to do this, we have received funding, but now they are independent. They are becoming more and more and more independent. The whole idea is to try and see how we can make viable business institutions of the people, by the people. And that's the whole idea. So these are all farmer or producer-owned organizations. And what we're trying to challenge is the existing understanding of market and how market regulates itself. So we decided that we must be able to organize the people so that they can engage with the market from a position of strength. And cooperatives don't have a place for the market, for the government, for the financial institutions. They don't give loans in India to the cooperatives. So we had to raise money from friends, loans and grants, and that's how we did it. But the government sends its people for training to our place. That's it? Yeah.
好，我直接问哈，请教一下，就是很感。
Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
OK， 谢谢。请教，就是刚刚您提到说，您做了教女孩子去纺纱这件事情，还有就是教导残障人士去做肥皂。那这两个伟大的事情哦，在你们做的时候有没有碰到什么困难？然后你们怎么去解决？
That's a long story. Yeah, well, there are difficulties in everything. I have been working in the villages for the last 40 years. So I have learned how to do it. Just like these researchers have been working for the last 40 years on their research, I've been working for 40 years in the village, and I guess we have also learned how to overcome these difficulties. The difficulties that are there for women is from the men. But then we are very strong here, you know. We've got 22,000 families with whom we are working. It's in a small area. So we are quite powerful. And so if the men make too much noise, then we just tell them to shut up. And it's very difficult. All the women you saw, they're all either single parents or widows. And in India, being a widow is very difficult. You are not just the second-class citizen, you are the third-class citizen. And being a woman, you're already a second-class citizen. And then if your husband has left you, then you become a fourth-class citizen. So it's extremely difficult for them. So for them to be able to come out of the house and be able to get together in one place is already a big step. And then they are now become proud weavers, and they are able to earn a good living now. So they are proud and they stand up. But the backing is those 22,000 women, because now they have become very powerful. They have become part of they've gone into the local politics. So they have become presidents or ward members of the village panchayats or the village organizations. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, sir.
Oh,
I
sir.
want to ask, there's a slide talking about there's 52% of the outcome will go to the farmer and 23% will go to the processing. How do you decide the distribution? the number 52% to go to the farmer.
Oh, we cost it like that. We see that this money gets back to the farmer. As it is, the cooperative pays at least 20 to 25% more when it buys from the member. And then at the end of the year, they get a bonus from the profits. So it totals up to 50% of the revenues that the cooperative has made. Of course, so long as it makes profits. But it is making profits. And so since it's making profits, we ensure that this money goes back to the farmer. Does that explain? No? You can ask me later. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Not take too much time.